episode, we are reviewing How to Train Your Dragon 3, The Hidden World.
From DreamWorks Animation comes the highly anticipated culmination of one of the most popular animated franchises in film history, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. What began as an unlikely friendship between an adolescent Viking and a fearsome Night Fury dragon has become an epic trilogy spanning their lives. In this next chapter, Hiccup and Toothless will finally discover their true destinies. The village chief as ruler of Berk, alongside Astrid, and the dragon as leader of his own kind, as both ascend the darkest threat they've yet faced, as well as the appearance of a female Night Fury, will test the bonds of their relationship like never before. Michaela, what'd you think of this movie?
Surprisingly, not really surprisingly, I love this movie. I'm saying surprisingly because, sequels never really do that well. The second one did, but the third one, even better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. This movie blew me away. The first two were just absolutely fantastic. That emotion, getting tied to these characters, the animation looks beautiful. Number 3, one of the best of the bunch, of course. What were some of your favorite parts of the movie?
I would have to say it all kind of jumbles up into one just because it just flows so well together. One of the biggest ones, probably when they have this big meeting after a big realization that their home might not be their home anymore, that they're not safe there. And Astrid and Hiccup were kind of in this feud of, do we leave, do we stay, what happens? When they have the big meeting with the people of Berk, they talk with the people, and they're kind of going against what Hiccup is saying. Hiccup is the leader of these people, but I love how Astrid, even though she might not believe what Hiccup is saying or totally in all of herself, all of her being wants to do what Hiccup has said, she goes with it. She does not show her side of, no, I don't think that you should do this. She goes wholeheartedly into what Hiccup says. And I think that's, one, true love. And 2, she doesn't want the people to revolt against him. So she's like, he makes the rules here. This is what's happening. And everyone listen.
Yeah, Hiccup and Astrid, probably one of the best on-screen relationships ever. Like, the development of that relationship from the first one to the third one is probably one of the best we've ever seen.
I like it because Astrid is not one of those typical movie chicks where it's, oh, we're just going to fall in love the first time and the first movie, and throughout the other movies, just going to show our romance getting bigger and bigger. No, she did not want that. They did not want to get married. It was strictly just friendship and working on a team together, but you could tell that their affection for each other started out as friendship, which I feel like it should.
Yeah, but the strength of this movie is a relationship between Hiccup and Toothless that definitely still resonated, but there were challenges to it. There were new elements. There was Hiccup now having to be a chief and be a leader for everyone else and focus on other people. And then Toothless meeting the female Night Fury. And so they were kind of being pulled apart from each other, but they wanted to stay together and they had to make choices. That definitely resonated with me wholeheartedly.
It's like with a lot of people, because it could either be between a parent and a child, or a relationship as in a boyfriend, girlfriend, 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 or friends, where there's a time in your life that you might not be together all the time. Very similar to Wreck-It Ralph.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this one does even better. Is this a worthy conclusion to this trilogy? And which one would you say is actually your favorite of the series?
So I really do think this is a worthy conclusion to the trilogy, although I cried my eyes out during it. I think it did a really great job and put it to a close, but not really. It could continue on, or it could end here, but I think DreamWorks is going to end it here. But you never know, because look how long Shrek went for.
They have 4 movies, and they're going to get more.
So we don't know if they're going to end it here or keep it going. But if it ended here, I'd be satisfied with it being the ending.
This was my favorite movie in the franchise.
So am I. So I said the same thing.
Walking out of the movie, I knew this is my favorite of the franchise. And that has nothing, it's not saying anything negative about the first two. The first one and second one, oh my gosh, they're some of the best animated movies ever made. This third one, though, is even better. And I think with the third one, it probably puts it as one of the strongest trilogies of all time. I think it's right up there. And as far as animated trilogies, right up there with Toy Story number 1 and 2.
I think so. And what's interesting is that in Toy Story, it's very, it's like you're saying, Toy Story 1, 2, and 3, that trilogy is very similar to that because you want a trilogy or a franchise to each movie to get better and better. And that's what they did with this one. They really raised the bar for animation.
So what is your rating for this film?
So if you haven't heard us before, we have a very different rating system. We have a 3-tiered system. All the way at the top is see it in theaters. It's a great movie. It deserves to be seen on the big screen. Show some support. Middle tier, wait for streaming. Might not be worth spending the extra money to see it in theaters. Just wait until it's on a streaming service. Or you would like to rent it on disc or digital. And the bottom, skip it. Forgettable and shouldn't waste your time on it. For me, this movie, How to Train Your Dragon 3: The Hidden World, if I could get it better than see it in theaters, I would. I would say see it tonight.
See it 10 times in theaters. There you go. That's what I'm saying. I can see this movie over and over and over again. And I'm probably going to see it a couple more times this week.
The sad thing is right now near us, they're not showing it in IMAX or Dolby, but I'm crossing my fingers that it hopefully does soon.
Yeah. Actually, we saw it in Real D 3D. I haven't seen Real D 3D in a while, and in the past, it hasn't really necessarily worked for me. But it actually worked really, really well. Because of the
I want to see
style.
it in a bigger screen.
Yes, absolutely. I want to see it in Dolby. I want to see it in IMAX. But this is a fantastic movie. Recommend every single person can go out. Not only families with children. You teenagers, adults, go out and see this movie. You're going to love it.
One last thought. It's you saying that brought up a memory of when we watched it. When we went to the theater, there was like only 2 kids in the theater. All the other people were young adults and adults.
And all the adults were laughing the whole time, crying, and it hit every single emotion in the book. But that is our thoughts on How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. We want to hear your thoughts. Make sure to leave a comment down below on our YouTube channel. Also, you can send us an email over at outoftheboxpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at outoftheboxpod. And as always, you can always visit our website, outoftheboxpod.wixsite.com/blog, and you can check out some of our more content in our podcast for the Out of the Box podcast movie channels and some more reviews as well. For Michaela, I am Dominic. Thank you so much for listening to our review of How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, and enjoy your time in the cinemas.